Y'all, these two might be some of the best mineral sunscreens I have ever tried of all time so far. Keep watching. Here's the thing, new products come out all the time, and with new products and, time passing, we might have new innovations, new techniques, so on and so forth. So there is a revolving door of mineral sunscreens, and I'll try as many as I can so that you guys can make decisions about, what needs to be in your skincare routine. No, but seriously, guys, the Supergoop Mineral Sheer Screen SPF 30 and the new Olay Regenerist Hydrating Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30. These probably have the least amount of cast that I have seen in sunscreens, mineral sunscreens, the American mineral sunscreens thus far. Now, here's the thing about mineral sunscreens, right? This is no big secret. They're not my favorite. I don't use them regularly in my skincare routine. I do these videos because I'm that passionate about you wearing sunscreen that, I want you to have as many options as possible. But chemical sunscreens are definitely my go-to. However, chemical sunscreens for some people can be irritating, and then some people just prefer a mineral sunscreen. But when it comes to that cast and having a deeper skin tone, that's for a lot of people, do not pass go, do not collect $200. So here's the thing with mineral sunscreens though. To make them cosmetically elegant, especially on someone with a deeper skin tone, you need to do one of two or maybe both things. So one, you either micronize the zinc, which is a process where they make these zinc particles smaller so they're not apparent. If no one has ever told you before, zinc and titanium dioxide are white. Much like this bodysuit that I am wearing right now, which if it's still available, I'll link it below. It is white, right? And when you put something white on a deeper skin tone, it's gonna leave a cast. It'll also leave a cast on someone with a lighter skin tone. So in making the particles smaller, it makes it a little bit less detectable. Another way to make a mineral sunscreen more cosmetically elegant on a deeper skin tone is in the formulation. So whatever you're adding to it, your emollients, which can be, like your oils and, all the other stuff that they put in the product to make it a sunscreen. I do have something coming up really cool with a black cosmetic chemist, and we'll be talking about why mineral sunscreens are the way that they are. That I think will be very insightful to you, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So first of all, the Supergoop Mineral Sheer Screen Sunscreen SPF 30. So brief description, this non-nano zinc oxide face sunscreen delivers broad spectrum SPF 30 and helps protect from blue light. Developed with breakthrough sheer matrix technology, the super sheer formula suspends the sunscreen actives in a matrix without compromising efficacy, so it instantly blends to a natural smooth finish that wears well alone or as a primer under makeup. This shocked me. So when you first put this on, you might be like, oh, here we go again, it's got a cast. But give it some time. She's gonna collect her things, she's gonna get it together, because in a few minutes, it's not gonna be as apparent. I did notice like a little, like a amount of cast on it, right? If you're lighter than me, you probably won't notice it, and if you're deeper than me, it might be a little bit more apparent. But this by far is one of the best I have tried so far. Up there on the list is definitely Replenix, but I think Replenix might be, I don't know, they're revisiting some things. We'll see. We'll revisit Replenix down the line. Replenix is also a brand that I feel like has really great mineral sunscreens for deeper complexions. But this girl is good. There's a PA of 3 pluses. The PA index denotes UVA coverage, and 4 pluses is the highest, so this has 3. SPF 30, of course, if you're gonna be out all day, you wanna reapply every 2 hours. If you sweat, you wanna, rinse off, towel yourself dry, or air dry, whatever you want. But make sure you dry before you put your sunscreen back on. This doesn't say it's water resistant. I didn't have many issues in the gym when I had this on my face, but of course, after the gym, you would, I showered and put my sunscreen back on again. And if you came from Dr. Alexa Stevens' channel, hey, I was actually in her video talking about this sunscreen and gave a similar but more concise type of review on it. So now this Olay one, This to me is quite a game changer, right? I was like, okay, background history, and very recent history. I actually have a sponsored post on my Instagram. It's probably there already. And I've worked with Olay a lot in the past. Television stuff, you know, whatever. I have history with Olay, right? But this stuff has definitely been a game changer, right? So I like this family of Olay moisturizers, the Regenerist line, like they call it the red jar. My favorite for years has been the fragrance-free Regenerist moisturizer. Since then, they've come up with different iterations of it. So they have one that's the Whips with SPF 25, which is, you know, lightweight. You know, it's a moisturizer with SPF in it. They also have an SPF 40 Whips, lightweight, but you know, a higher SPF. And then now they have this mineral one, right? I put this on, and in my demo, you're gonna see me glopping a whole bunch on because I just really wanted you to see. Obviously you don't need to put on as much as I'm putting on in the demo, but I really wanted you to see that, like, the white cast just, where is she? Does anyone see her? Where? I have worn this to the gym. I've worn it on its own with makeup, here, there, and everywhere. I've worn it in the house. I've worn it next to a mouse. Let's get an official description. Our 100% mineral sunscreen active provides protection against damaging UVA and UVB rays so you can bask in the sun naturally. Aminopeptide, pentapeptide 4 supports your skin's natural renewal process. It penetrates your skin surface to smooth, balance, and improve your complexion. Of course, it's got our friend vitamin B3, aka niacinamide, which has a number of skin benefits. This is fragrance-free, doesn't have parabens, no phthalates, mineral oil, or synthetic dyes. Now, I have to say, both of these actually spread really nicely on the skin. You know, some mineral sunscreens tend to be really pasty, and it's like you have to like pull and rub really hard to get it to blend in. Both spread really, really nicely, right? They're both very hydrating. What I will say is that while this one had more of like a natural finish, this has more of like a natural matte finish. So it's not something that's gonna like sit on top of your skin and be greasy all day. Now, mind you, in my demo, I put on way more than what is needed. So it does have a little bit of a sheen to it because, you know, that's many, many layers. But I did like this had like a natural matte finish. I have in the past worn Olay Regenerist SPF 25 and then the 40 and whatnot. When it's warmer out, it's not my first go-to when it's warmer out when I have oily skin. It's not gonna be my first go-to, but I can wear it most times of the year. Spring, fall, winter. The summertime is just gonna really depend on how hot it's gonna get that day. And if I'm just wearing it on its own with no makeup, then this would be fine for me in the summer with my oily skin as well. And then likewise with the Supergoop, I feel like I could wear this most times of the year, but in the summertime it might be where it might get a little tricky, where it's like if I wear it on its own, probably fine, but if I try to put any makeup or anything over it, it's gonna be too much for me in the summertime. And again, neither one would be my first choice for a summertime sunscreen for my oily skin because I do feel like there are other options, even within the same brands. Like Supergoop has better summertime options for me. Olay has better summertime options for me. Because I've worked with Olay for a while. I do know people there. I could be like, hey, I have a question. Can you answer it? Whereas some brands, sometimes they take their sweet time to answer, But anywho, so I wanted to know because I was like shook as to why this was so good. And I kind of had a feeling, but of course, I wanted to confirm. So Dr. Frauke at Olay said, there are two key parts of the formulation that enable the absorption and blendability profile. One, we use micronized zinc oxide, meaning really small particles that spread easily and evenly on the skin. The zinc oxide is formulated in a light lotion containing hydrating and skin-loving ingredients, glycerin, panthenol, and vitamin B3, which absorb really well. But I also, because, the thing with the nanoparticles and, with the science and whatnot, so she replied back that this is an interesting area. Here's my take. There have been reports and concerns about nanoparticles penetrating into skin. However, a large number of published studies have produced no evidence that zinc oxide nanoparticles can cross the skin in significant amounts. So nanoparticles in sunscreen don't penetrate the skin. Second point, so because nanoparticles have a bit of a bad reputation now, a number of brands, because I had asked her about that, because I'm like, a lot of brands say like, you know, this is a non-nano zinc oxide. So she said because nanoparticles have a bit of a bad reputation now, a number of brands sell products advertised as containing non-nano titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. I don't think this is helpful and probably misleading, as a classification of what is nano and what isn't is a bit of a challenge. And then she mentioned, in terms of UV protection, as a general rule of thumb, one could say that the smaller the particles are, the better the SPF/UVB protection and the worse the UVA protection. So formulators must strike a balance. Small particles provide greater transparency/sheerness on skin, but larger particles offer greater UVA protection. Importantly, when a sunscreen product is tested according to the FDA regulations, the test will look at both UVA and UVB protection and only allow for the product to claim broad spectrum UV protection, like Olay products do, if the criteria are met. So always look for broad spectrum. So that kind of like touches on some of the things that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Like, is there a perfect sunscreen? She mentioned, you know, formulators having to strike, you know, that right balance. You are getting broad spectrum protection with both of these. Not all American brands use the PA system, so there is no PA rating for the Olay. Like I mentioned before, the Supergoop has the 3-star PA rating, which is just a notch below very high UVA protection. But remember, like, is there such a thing as the perfect sunscreen? Like, I feel like Dr. Frauke mentioned, like sometimes you have to kind of strike a balance. Am I gonna want all of these things in here, but then, you know, I may not have that nice cosmetically elegant formula. So I think these are things that, you know, we can talk about in future videos. I'll have some people on who are formulators, as well as some doctors and whatnot. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you don't miss a thing. All right, so now that said, these are still two of the better mineral, like if you're looking for a cosmetically elegant formula with your mineral sunscreen, these are probably two of the best that I have tried thus far on this channel. I do have to say I like the Olay one better. I have to say that the white cast was, like, where was it? You know what I mean? Like, I've worn this so many times, like, where's the white cast? This one, it's like, just like a little, like a, and to me, like, if you're someone who prefers a mineral sunscreen, or, you know, whatever reason you have to use a mineral sunscreen in your routine, you know, having a bit of a cast is better than the kind of cast that you get with a lot of these mineral sunscreens, right? And of course you can put makeup on over, you know, the casty mineral sunscreens to kind of mitigate some of that white cast. And then there's a video on this channel about how iron oxides in mineral sunscreens can fare very well if you have you know, persistent pigmentation issues such as melasma. Make sure you check that video out as well. But yes, I do like the Olay one a bit better, and if you're like looking cost-wise, this one might be a better bang for your buck. You're gonna get 1.7 fluid ounces here for about 28 bucks. You know, prices vary depending on the retailer, so make sure you check like Amazon, Target, Walmart, wherever you can get, you know, your better price point. This one is $38 for 1.5 fluid ounces, so it's about $10 more for about 0.2 ounces less. So, you know, the choice is yours. Let me know in the comments below, though, if you're a mineral sunscreen lover, would you try any one of these? Or are there other criteria that you look for in your mineral sunscreen that is more important to you? Leave that below. Follow me on social. Links will be in the description box, and I will see you fine folks in my next video. Bye, guys.